Hey everyone, welcome back. Today you have the pleasure of just me dropping some knowledge on how to fake the FPV drone look. FPV is first person view, and in terms of drones it's been massively popularised by killer travel videographers such as Johnny FPV and Sam Kolder. It offers such a unique perspective and spices up the world of drones a little bit, because I think a lot of people have gotten used to the ideas that drones are just sort of your everyday thing when it comes to video. So the FPV look gives something really new and exciting. We've personally considered getting an FPV drone, but we do not have the money nor the time to continually smash drones to pieces. So for now, instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, we're going to try and see if we can fake the look in editing. Okay, so I've got this clip here. We filmed this in the roaches on the Mavic 2 Pro. As you can see, it's quite slow and cinematic, which looks great and would be great for the right video, but it's not what we're after today. First things first is about speeding up the clip. FPV drones are known for being fast, and whether that is the actual speed of the drone itself or through flying close to objects, the FPV drone look is fast and dynamic. So what we're going to go ahead and do first is speed up this clip. And already we've got that movement at the side here that could be reminiscent of an FPV. Now when you speed up these shots, they're not going to work with anything where you've got people in them walking or cars. Sea doesn't always look too good, and stuff like trees blowing in the wind really fast. Those are just things that you have to think about when selecting the clip. Speeding up the clip will also highlight the bumps and any unwanted movements in the clip. So if we stabilize that, that should help to get rid of that jitter. So the next thing that I would advise is to add a letterbox. This will allow for some extra positioning and rotation keyframing. So you're just giving yourself some extra wiggle room underneath the black bars to play around a bit more with the clip. So next, to give this shot more of that FPV drone look, I want to keyframe in a rotation. This will sort of add the fighter jet style movement. I think it'll give it more of that look that we're looking for. So I think at the very start, you shouldn't have a completely straight horizon. I think this helps to sell the idea that the drone isn't limited at any point by a gimbal. And then just go to the very end of the clip, assessing the rotation at about 9 degrees, giving this clip a very gradual rotation from start to end. It is also very beneficial when editing in this way if you're filming in 4K or you're filming with a very good quality drone. So the final thing that I would do, just to add that finishing touch to this clip, is I would add a motion blur. So because we've sped this clip up, the motion doesn't look too realistic when you're looking at these rocks here. So to fix this and make it look more natural, we can add a motion blur. Motion blur rendering is the death of any computer, so this is definitely something that you want to do last. And then let's take an age to render. That is the sound of pure 6-core goodness. We wait.
A table, 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 clap again, and then you're going to pick the cup straight up.
Okay, so let's see now with this extreme motion blur. Yeah, I think that's a lot better. If you just look at the edges, it's more realistic as though it was filmed at this speed. So you've seen how to edit a really simple drone shot to look more like that from an FPV. The main points to consider are speed. Fly your drone close to objects or speed up the footage in post. Stabilization. Keep that footage looking smooth. Add a letterbox. Save the quality of your clip from unnecessary scaling. Play with the position, rotation, and scale of the clip to create a dynamic flight path. Add motion blur to really sell the speed. You know, you need to make sure that you get low, get close to things to get that spicy footage in the first place. Editing is just like the cherry on the cake. The second shot that I want to try with this rotation feature, I want to try it with an even longer one and see if we can really get that sense of movement and speed over like a greater distance. I've got this clip here from California. It's 32 seconds long and I want to do like a multi-rotation kind of thing. So first of all, I've just stabilized it, you know, to get rid of any of those kinks. The flight is already quite quick, so I think we can just speed it up 2 times. With the amount of water that's in the scene, if we were to speed it up too much, I think it would look very strange. Again, I don't want to start on a completely like straight horizon. Okay, so we've set those keyframes and now I just want to go, I reckon just past the van, sort of like about here, and we can go in the same direction a bit further. Let's say -11. And again, to cover up those corners, let's go to 109. Yep, and we've got that slight zoom and rotation. Then I want to get it so that it like levels out again. Let's go back to the horizon. We just want it a little bit off. Keep the scale, because else I think over that sort of distance, you're going to end up getting a bit of a dolly effect, which I don't really want at this point. Let's go with the positioning, -33. Then I think we'll have like a really nice reveal of the sky there as well. Then I would say as we're getting quite low, let's add some rotation again. So let's go to 8 maybe, I think this way. Yeah, as though it's sort of like a plane coming into land, I think that could look really cool. And again, let's go a bit further on the positioning, like sort of as though it's like kissing the water but then like lifting back up again. So you have these little things on the screen, linear or smooth keyframe movement. The smooth is more like a logarithmic change, whereas I think I just want it to be like gradual. And then at the end, we will just get it to go in the other direction. Maybe it's what we started with, so like -4. And then let's add that little bit of a dolly effect, just so that we get the quality back. And then we just need to add the motion blur. So this shot is just a more complex version of the first shot that we did. It's just demonstrating the keyframing of rotation and scale to make it look like it's flying like this. Nothing too complicated. It's just about the shot that you have and what you can really like pull from it. If you've flown quite a boring path, like high up in the air, not close to any objects, you're not going to be able to get this effect. I think the real interest from FPV comes from being close to objects.
No! God, please, no! No!
The next thing that I really wanted to try was with this clip here. So the first thing I want to do with this is speed it up, add some stabilization straight away. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to create a sky.
Okay.
I want to make it look as though the FPV drone has flipped. Come down and it's like panning down to reveal the rocks. So you're going to need a generator. Let's make this the colour of the nice British sky, which is essentially white, but it's just a little bit off, so let's get it accurate. And the next thing is we want some clouds because it's the UK. And then let's block this on like 50%. And the next thing we want to do is we want to create a compound clip. I want to enhance that feeling that the FP drone has like gone like that. So to do this, I'm going to need to keyframe in the positioning. So let's add the keyframes so that we don't forget. But I want to start off where this clip is off the screen. We want that movement to happen quite quick. So let's say about like 1 second in, we will whack that all the way back up. So far that movement is just like that. And afterwards, I think I'll speed that up. And then we want to go to the point where it starts moving down. I want to add another set of keyframes. And then here, we want to go back up completely and more of a focus on this bit now. And like I said, you just get that, you just get that like feeling of diving in. So the thing that we need to do now is with the sky. So let's add a mask and we can get rid of this awful looking sky situation. To fix the sun element, copy and paste the clip, get rid of the draw mask. I want to create another mask, and this will be the sun mask. Yeah, and then you've got a lot more of a realistic transition. When we speed that up as well, outside the compound clip, I think you're not going to notice that bit as much. We can add our trusty letterbox. Excellent. Yeah, that looks really good. So let's just add our motion blur and wait 3 years for that to render. I think it's about the whole process. If my computer will pipe down, it just gives you some flexibility with the shots that you've created. If they're a little bit boring, you might be able to mess with them a bit more, make them more interesting, and make them usable. The clip that I want to use for the next FPV style trick is this one. It's a shot that we filmed in Croatia of some windsurfers. It's not a very long clip, but because it's windsurfers and it's the sea, we're going to leave it at normal speed. This was filmed on the Mavic Air, so when the Mavic Air is flying at speed, it can sometimes have some issues with its gimbal where it can, the gimbal sort of doesn't keep up with the speed, and the Mavic Air tilts, and so the gimbal goes with it, and you get this weird tilt look, which actually can be quite interesting effect when filming action sports. So at this point, I would like to flip the entire image. Now the problem that we have is that when you rotate 180 degrees like this, the amount of black space is astonishing. So would be 190, maybe 200% scale in order to make that rotation. Well, you're losing so much quality at this point that it becomes pretty pointless. In the creativity, you're losing the quality. So you can do it, but realistically, I wouldn't say that it's a good idea. So my idea was, as in the last one, was to create a sky replacement of sorts, where this would extend the length of the image, making it so that we can rotate this shot, the windsurfing shot, without losing too much quality and having to zoom in too much. So what I did was I created this sky replacement with the clouds just as the last one, and the custom generator underneath, but with a blue undertone because it is Croatia. And basically what I did is I positioned this sky above the windsurfing shot, and what I did is just added a shape mask so that it merged quite nicely, so that basically we can use this space instead of just scaling in. So what we want to do is we want to create a compound clip of this sky and the windsurfing shot. So now you have your compound clip and your letterbox in place. And what we want to do is we want to create a keyframe at scale rotation position at the point at which it starts to level out and it stops rotating naturally from the Mavic. We can make a keyframe there and change it to 110. Start at 100. So this is a gradual scaling up, just so then we've got that flexibility to spin the shot. So we've got a starting frame, and I think we want to go forward about 15 frames, and then this is where we will add our next keyframe to be minus 180. Minus is because that's the direction of the motion of the Mavic Air had already created, like this. So then basically we have to go frame by frame and move the shot into the appropriate position to cover up any blacks. And just like I said, because we've got the sky up here, we've got way more leeway than just the shot ending here. So keep moving frame by frame and just move the shot so that any black bits are hiding. We'll tidy up the path in a minute. Okay, so we've got that, but it's a little bit jagged. But what we can do is we can move these into like a nice circle shape, and this is the path that it will take. It's a really trial and error process until you get them in the right spot. This is one of those things that you could spend literal days working on and perfecting, but just for example's sake, we'll go with this. At the end, I'd also add a keyframe, probably to max out at like -199, and just keep the shot rotating. When you think about the use of this in, for example, like a after movie for a windsurfing event, it's a really cool addition that could really make people notice. So yeah, let's just add that hefty motion blur, and I think if we go extreme, simply around the rotation, could look good. So let's render it out. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. It was a pleasure to edit in front of you and show you some techniques on how you can make your classic drone footage look a little bit more exciting. It's important to think creatively around your limitations and see what you can do with what you've got. And yeah, just don't feel limited by the gear that you don't or can't have. I'd love to know if you want to see more videos like this, so let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I guess we will see you in the next one.